And here we are in Brossard, Quebec. These are the Division C finals between LeBrontourage and les Petites Carottes. We are in a rush to get this last one underway. LeBrontourage are the number 2 seed, coming in with an 8-2 record, going up against les Petites Carottes, the heavyweights, the favorites, the 9-1 team. On the first play, we saw LeBrontourage's quarterback, Yannick Cassati, take off running for a 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5 now coming up with Cassati under center.
Yes.
I'm in the booth here with
Keon Cyrus.
I'm Alexis Dubois, and we are now underway for your Division C finals. Cassati takes a snap, looks to his right, flows to his left, completes the Sparagna immediately, makes a first man miss and a second, but cannot get away from Timothée Neha Lacasse, who makes the tackle.
Yes, with this LeBrontourage roster, they are only 6 in this game, as it's been the case for them all postseason long. But kudos to them, the number 2 seed have been able to knock off Coldness in a heartbreaker loss for them, 39-38, as well as a 38-31 victory in the semifinals against Speed Academy.
This is a high-powered offense, a whole bunch of Concordia guys. You'll recognize the Concordia yellow. And that's a massive drop. Cassati had Murphy, and not Jeremy Murphy, that is Joshua Murphy, the younger brother of former CFOer Jeremy Murphy. Normally a sure-handed, talented, explosive receiver with the flowing Murphy locks. Drop that one in the end zone.
Unfortunately, of that incompletion. But again, Joshua Murphy has not played in the postseason for LeBrontourage just yet. So again, maybe finals jitters. Again, he's a competitive university football player like his brother was. But again, that is a catch he wants to get back.
It's a catch anyone would want to get back, hit him in both hands and the chest. The good news is we still have 2nd down, 2nd and 10 for LeBrontourage. Cassati scrambling to his right, throwing towards the boundary, and that one was thrown away. No one open.
So with Russia and Mid de Couteau rushing Yannick Cassati, my apologies, there's going to be a lot of running around in the pockets. So it's going to be key for de Couteau to manage the rushing and mobile of Cassati in this contest.
De Couteau is a fantastic rusher. He does a good job of getting passing lanes, and he has a good first step burst. That being said, Cassati is a quarterback who likes buying time. That matchup between De Couteau and Cassati will be interesting. This time, De Couteau takes a step early. He has to reset. He comes back. It's fire towards number 1, Tristan Mancini, the younger brother of... I'm forgetting the name of the other Mancini. That's a criminal mistake. That being said, this is clearly the game of the younger brothers and the 10 p.m. memory gaps. Broken up, however, on the play by les Petites Carottes.
Yeah, honestly, great anticipation by the defender. I think that was Timothée Neha Lacasse, who is a great defender in his own right, pretty long with his arms, and broke up the pass towards Mancini.
A nice defensive play, setting up 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10 is very much manageable. However, 4th and 10 is where you want to get worried. You're looking to cut the yards in 2 here if you're Cassati. Keep an eye out for a run play or something short. You want to set up a 4th and manageable. Instead, he's scrambling to his right. Is he going to run? He's trying to make De Couteau miss. He cannot. He is sacked. We are talking about who is going to have the edge between De Couteau and Cassati. De Couteau 1, Cassati 0.
Yeah, that was a great rush by de Couteau right there. And again, Cassati was trying to buy some time for his receivers, but de Couteau followed him, and that's a big loss of a sack, making it 4th and very, very long.
This is not a pretty situation. You know this Brontsurage team better than I do. If they're looking for a jump ball, have they punted?
I think they perhaps punted.
That was 4th down.
Yeah.
The sack we saw was 4th down.
Oh, my apologies there.
We both lost track of a play. 4th down, turnover on downs, 1st down for Jason Reyes and this Le Petites Carottes offense. Pass complete towards Nekas just a few seconds before getting sacked. And a 1st down, making it look easy.
Having the LeBrontourage quarterback and Cassati rushing, again, he is a mobile quarterback, so having him rush as well as being as mobile as he is on the offense, Jason Reyes is a very skillful quarterback in his own right, being able to use his legs as well and being accurate, finishing the season with over a 72% completion percentage with 40 touchdowns and over 1,400 yards.
And you have to wonder if cardio will start becoming a factor for Cassati. If you're a scrambling quarterback and a rusher, that is a lot of sprints. This is complete towards over the middle, back towards Nekas, tackled by Murphy for a gain of 3 yards. We're setting up now a 2nd down at the 3-yard line.
And for this LPC group a lot of offensive weapons. Laurent Beauchamp, Félix Boutet. You have a lot of, even Michael Farran on the outside here. So it's going to be interesting what Jason Reyes does. He is in red zone, but again, plethora of weapons for this number 1 seed LPC team.
Keep an eye on Félix Boutet, one of the fastest players, a staple of Division 1 and the higher divisions in FPF. A very talented receiver. Firing towards the back of the end zone is Reyes, looking for number 0, Cédric Maurice, who has been one of this team's leading receivers. Comes up empty, setting up 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line.
Yeah, that was nearly a sack there. For kudos to Reyes for evading Casati as a rusher there. But again, fortunate for LeBrontourage. No touchdown there. It was a tough ball, but again, making it another defensive stand inside their own 5.
It's looking like mobile quarterbacks will be key to this game, and whoever can make the other rushers miss more often might be able to escape with the victory. Reyes, standing near to his center, takes the snap, looks to his right where the trips formation is, scrambling. An interesting call there. Leo's hands went up in the air. Touchdown for Les Petites Carottes. That is number 1, Tristan Mancini on the reception. His hands are up before the ball was even caught.
Laurent Beauchamp with the catch, actually.
Yes, thank you.
But again, it is Leo Gervais did make the call there, but it was interesting to see if Laurent Beauchamp actually caught the ball with the stopping of the rotation before he lost control there. But I guess LeBrontourage isn't making a challenge there.
I think he caught it afterwards. I think he bobbled it. Leo's arms went up. It was tapped by the defender, and he finally wound up catching it. It was just a slightly premature signal from official Leo Gervais. Going for 2 are Les Petites Carottes, dropping a 2nd quarterback and a 3rd quarterback, firing towards the back of the end zone.
Yeah, that was towards Laurent Beauchamp,
who was wide open and simply missed him. That's a throw Reyes would love to have back.
Yeah, I think communication for the LeBrontourage's defense. I know Ahmed Boubacar was talking to his guys on defense there. Can't have a gap like that open because Reyes will not make that mistake twice if he sees any of his receivers there to make that catch.
He's a very efficient quarterback. He avoids making those critical mistakes. When you combine that with an ability to extend the plays by yards and by those few extra seconds, it explains why this Les Petites Carottes team are 9-1 and are favorites heading into this final. This is now Casati under center, completing or attempting to complete towards Tristan Mancini. We've seen a few drops now from LeBrontourage. Finals jitters, a bit of an experience. How do you explain these miscues we've seen early on in the game?
Again, they've always played with six players on their teams. So again, these guys are always tired when it comes to it. It's very early in the game, but again, these are all more than not former university players who have the ability of been playing football for years at the high university level. And again, they shouldn't be really worried about in this as it is a final, so I would expect their hands as a group to get much better.
Casati's now taking off, scrambling to his right, tries to make Decoteau miss. He's held from behind, no flag on the play despite the tug of the jersey. A 6-yard pickup setting up 8 yards, 9 yards, 3rd and 1.
That was a great run there. And to look at Les Petites Carottes, how they got here, their first matchup was a 24-20 victory against All Blacks, followed by a 26-18 victory over Jagerbomb, where I've watched that game, and that was a back-and-forth game with Simon Duchesne and Jason Reyes going head-to-head with actually Les Petites Carottes actually losing up to the point of the last 4 minutes where a 4-minute touchdown was scored for them to win the game.
Casati firing towards Mancini, who catches the ball. Ooh, interesting. His foot looked like it may have been out of bounds. Referee ruling that his inside foot came down before the other one touched the line. Very close there.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if fully he got his foot in bounds there, but again, it looks like no challenge there. And again, Mancini, good job at reaching to get the extra yard there.
In all honesty, that's not a play worth challenging. A incompletion or completion there is not worth your challenge in the opening 10 minutes of the ball game. Casati, scrambling to his right, trying to make Decoteau miss. He's got a few yards separation. He takes off running, ducks behind Sparagna before being tackled by Nema Lacasse for a gain of 7 on the play. He's now even the score. We're back to Casati 1, Decoteau 1.
Yeah, I expect that to be a completely chess match throughout the game, depending on how De Couture rushes him throughout it, and Casati to kind of decide whether he's going to make the read. He has been able to make these throws on the run, or will he actually use his legs? But one person who we haven't talked about much has been Ahmed Aboubakar, who has led this team offensively with 13 touchdowns on 26 receptions, and he has 5 touchdowns in this postseason alone.
But hasn't been involved yet in this LeBrontourage offense. Let's keep an eye out for him on second down. Appears well covered here. Casati forced out of bounds, completes towards Aboubakar, who makes a man miss, dances and spins. Touchdown. We're waiting upon a signal. Touchdown. Well, you just needed to let him know that we were watching. A bit of pressure on Ahmed Boubakar's shoulders. He comes up clutch with a touchdown to tie this game at 6 apiece.
You thought that Casati was going to be out of bounds. He made that pass while his body was out of bounds, but never touched the out of bounds marker. Great anticipation there, and even for Aboubakar for making that catch and actually reaching for it, missing the tackle from the defender and getting to the end zone for the touchdown.
We see Félix Boutet wagging his finger at Leo Gervais. They're going for 1. There's a lot to challenge on that play. Was he sacked? Did he step out of bounds? Finally, no challenges forthcoming, setting up a 1-point convert for the lead. Casati, standing on the center, flashes his hands, catches the ball, looks to his right, flips his hips to the left, throws to the back of the end zone towards Boubacar, high points the ball. The 1-point convert is good.
What a great ball and catch from Aboubakar. That was nice and filthy. The thing is, this Les Petites Carottes team has a lot of tall defenders, very athletic defenders in their own right, but being able to be a one-on-one coverage with a talent like Ahmed Boubacar is near impossible in this matchup. They're going to have to play physical with him. He's going to be jumping up for every ball in the air, and so the timing for these Les Petites Carottes defenders is going to be pivotal if they want to make a breakup.
I'm not entirely sure how you defend that play. He jogged as being generous, might have walked to the back of the end zone and then went, I will catch this above your head, please let me moss someone. Jason Reyes back to work, completing towards De Couture on the sideline. That's a 7-yard pickup. Another factor to consider, Les Petites Carottes, 7, just 7. However, LeBrontourage, even less, 6 players. Thank God it's the 10 p.m. game. Temperatures have cooled down a bit, but you see cardio becoming a factor in this game as we approach the later stages.
Yes, definitely. Maybe not in the first half as, again, everyone's getting their footing back in. Only Ahmed Boubacar is the only player on both teams who has played a game so far today. But again, later in the second half, yes, the temperatures, as you mentioned, has dropped. Could play a factor for these players.
Jason Reyes did a fantastic job spotting a wide open Timothée Nema Lacasse. The only thing missing from that play was the catch. He was wide open from the touchdown. That's one Les Carottes will want back. So there's one thing. I was watching the Division B final. I think you're on the call for that one. Boubacar, fantastic player. He plays as a safety very far off. Is it not tempting to simply run hooks and hooks and hooks from your center and force Boubacar to step up?
100%, especially with the way he's playing. We're going to see if Reyes eventually sees that, but looks like a catch there.
And that's a catch over the middle of the field. Reyes completing towards Nema Lacasse, who has been by far the preferred receiver on the season. Timothée Lacasse caught 12 for 81 yards and 3 TDs this postseason.
Yeah, no, just in terms of the regular season. It hasn't really been used in the playoffs.
Which is shocking because I think he's just about at 81 yards already today.
Yeah, 100% there. Yeah, so when it comes to Boubacar playing back, Laurent Beauchamp, I've seen him play and he does run a lot of outs and short hooks. So
Félix Boutet makes the catch, tries to make a first defender miss, but that first defender was a certain Boubacar who does not miss, makes the tackle immediately after a gain of 5 yards.
Yeah, being a Concordia defensive back, when he has been playing, he has a knack of reading. So yes, he does play back a lot more often than you would think of compared to other players playing the 3 position, but he's quick in terms of making those tackles. So a quick pass to Boutet there easily could have been much more in yards, but Boubacar is there to make the tackle on the stop.
What he makes up for what I think, in my opinion, would be a positioning mistake with a ton of speed. He compensates. Reyes is looking deep. This is in and out of the hands of Cédric Maurice, a usually sure-handed receiver, dropping what was an easy first down and setting up a 3rd and intermediate.
Yeah, it's been two two throws by Reyes on this drive alone that have been dropped by his receivers. Two passes where I know that on 9 times out of 10 it's probably being caught. So let's see how Reyes and company, maybe they go more simpler to get their warm hands of the receivers properly in, or he might be able to use his legs, which he hasn't really done much yet so far.
But Casadi's a very fast rusher. 3rd and 5. Reyes surveilling to his right. You're completely right. Takes off running, reaches the ball, tackled, first down, les Petites Carottes.
Yeah, there he
I
goes
think
with
you've
the
done
hands.
so many games at this point. You can see 3 plays into the future, and you're just predicting what's happening. So tell me, what's coming up next?
So at this point, they're at the 5. I know Laurent Beauchamp family, seeing from him as scorekeeping LPC games, he likes to run quick outs to the left. Quick outs to the left for their side. So I would expect him to do the same. And then again, Felix Boutet is always going to be looked at as an option. And so for LeBrontourage, following their crosses and even anything in the back of the end zone is going to be pivotal for communication.
Let's see, they have 4 cracks at it now. 4 cracks. They're throwing a drag over the middle. Back to Timothée Neha Lecas. He scores the touchdown, capping off an impressive first half performance. Touchdown for Les Carottes, and they take back the lead.
Yeah, like Timothée Neha Lecas started off from the wideout on the right side and basically ran a drag across field, and no one really picked him up until he ran out the ball. And at that point, with his speed, was able to just basically run into the end zone to take the lead for les Petites Carottes.
Lacasse is not the player you'd expect to be the difference maker in the finals, but very much has been the go-to man for Reyes and this Carotte offense, coming up clutch time and time again. You've seen drops, but not from him. 2-point conversion attempt. Keep your eye on Boutet, number 10, on the right-hand side of the snapper. 2 quarterbacks drop. Reyes tries to dance, throws back to the second QB. The second QB throws back to Reyes, who tries to make a defender miss, but is tackled by Boubacar at the 3-yard line. There is a lot going on there, but the result is very simple. The convert is no good.
Yeah, thankfully it was only a convert play because that almost could have been picked up by, it looked like it was, I think
Sparagna.
Dante Sparagna there on the pass by Michael Farron. Luckily, again, at the end of it, convert is no good, and LeBrontourage has around 3 minutes to work with, down by 5 with the ball.
I think 3 minutes here, actually the scoreboard's a bit far away. This is an interesting amount of time on the clock. The question that comes up for me is you either want to score very quickly or very slowly, and neither one of those is necessarily the easiest option. You do not want to leave these Carottes any time on the clock. Casati, surveying the field, finds Sparagna, makes a man miss, tackled after a gain of 18 yards, crosses midfield. So here, what you want to avoid is les Petites Carottes scoring at the end of the second half and then starting the second half with the ball.
Exactly there, and great job for Dante Sparagna to make that catch. But again, clock will be definitely a factor with just over 2 minutes at this point.
Casati scrambles to his right, tries to make Descoteaux miss, and there's you coming downhill. You have Michael Fafard breaking on that ball. Fast player, however, cannot execute and cannot turn that fantastic read into an interception.
Yeah, that was a great read by Fafard there. Again, John Bocci was open for a split second, but again, with the rolling out of Casati there, made the play a bit more difficult because of the timing, and Fafard made a great play there for the pass deflection.
It feels like if Casati just sits in the pocket for an extra second, he would have the poise to find these open receivers, and he's making these throws harder for him by being on the run. Let's see what he has in his bag of tricks here. Takes the ball, looks to his right, completes towards Murphy, tackled immediately by Felix Boutet in the shorts. A modest gain of 2 yards.
Yeah, and this is the second matchup between these two teams. Les Petites Carottes beat LeBrontourage in Week 7, 42-12 in a big blowout. Again, Ahmed Boubacar didn't play in that game, but again, Gianni Casati did play, and that was arguably his worst game of the year against that Les Petites Carottes squad. Laurent Beauchamp, credits to him, he had three touchdowns of his own, and the defense of Les Petites Carottes had 4 interceptions in that game.
And here we see the clock has stopped. Did you notice who called the timeout? I'd presume LeBrontourage, but it's not like they're short on time. Regardless, Casati takes the ball. Descoteaux's bearing in. He tries to make a miss, but he's right on his heels. He's getting close. He tosses it towards Boubacar, who goes up. But that was Michael Fafard, who's all over the field. does not let Boubacar come down with that ball.
That is a catch that Boubacar can make, but unfortunately, do you want to make that throw constantly in this game? I don't think so there. So credits to Fafa for being there. Because the thing, Boubacar can make those catches, but again, you don't want to give the Petites Carottes defenders the opportunity to make plays like that too.
That's a dangerous ball. This is not a game where you need to take risks. You have the athletes, you have the experience. Throwing those 50-50 balls where it very much could be a catch, incompletion, or interception, it's up to fate which of the three is chosen, is not necessarily the call you want to be making if you're Casati. We see Decoteau jump offside and then reset for the second time. The ball is again thrown up in the air for Boubacar, who's unable to come down with it. Turnover on downs. Les Petites Carottes take over the ball with a chance to do what I call a triple dip. Score, stop, score, and then take over the ball after the half and score again.
Yeah, I think if that ball was more thrown on the inside, Boubacar had the matchup, but unfortunately it was a bit more on the outside, which was tough for him to make the catch there.
It was not an easy catch to make. You saw him elevate, but it felt like his body was just slightly out of position, which meant that he was unable to come down with the ball. He's a great 50-50 receiver, fast, has a great catch radius, but that was just outside of what he can reel in. Also, I believe playing without gloves, a very DB move. Jason Reyes and Les Petites Carottes offense looking to take a commanding lead in this game. Completed quickly over the middle of the field to Laurent Beauchamp, whose name keeps on eluding me. Tackle made by Sparagna.
Again, it looks like perhaps Reyes has been seeing the middle of the field being a bit more open there as he rolled out right, looked at Boutez his first read, but then saw Laurent Beauchamp being wide open there in the middle of the field. So a great job of keeping the ball safe. And again, with 1:07 left, the Petites Carottes have full control in the sense of do they score right and with little to no time left for LeBrontourage and then to get the ball back in the second half.
This is a perfect amount of time to have left. You don't need to rush. At the same time, it's unlikely to leave your position with any time on the clock. We have 55 and counting. It was a first down, so time is started on the right to play whistle. Reyes takes his time, surveys the field, looks to his right, flashes his hand, catches the snap, pumps, comes back towards Félix Boutet, who tries to dip but is tackled by Boubacar. A great dip move, and yet it didn't quite work. We were having a debate before in the booth with Laurie. Is the dip move becoming less effective due to its overuse?
I think it depends on the player. I've been someone actually recently that's been using dips in the lower divisions, but again, with the higher divisions,
here we have an end goal situation. Reyes takes the snap, throws towards the back of the end zone. Decoteau looks at his heels. They're both in bounds. 1 foot, 2 foot, 6 points on the board.
What a great catch at the back of the end zone for Decoteau. Being used as a rusher always, and again, he doesn't get as much offensive opportunities, but again, with injuries perhaps to Les Petites Carottes, as their tallest receiver, Xavier Pro, broke his foot or ankle, unfortunately, which he's on the sidelines at the other end on crutches. He's a big difference maker, being over 6'5", if not mistaken. So again, having other players play the part of missing their tall receiver.
Yes, you see him on crutches right now. Does not look extraordinarily mobile at the moment. Les Petites Carottes going for two with Reyes. Will they drop a second quarterback? They do. Félix Boutet runs back as well, catches the ball from Reyes. Reyes takes off running. Boutet tries to make the rusher miss. He's going to run this one in. He twists, he turns, he flips his hips. Casati is on the floor. The 2 fingers are in the air. The 2 points is good. The score is 20-7. 18.3 seconds. Keon, do you think that LeBrontourage can punch one in before the half?
100%. They have the speed and the athletes of this. Again, they don't have to go for the home run play. But again, I expect Boubacar and definitely Dante Sparagna to potentially play the part. They have also John Bocci as well as Tracy Mancini there as reliable hands. So again, 18 seconds left on the clock. You just have to get the ball moving. Just no picks because, again, LPC gets the ball back in the second half. But I think they could if they work it down the chains for at least maybe 3 plays.
Keep your eyes on Boubacar, number 2 to the right of Casati here. It appears like he called this play. Is he calling his own number? This could be the time for a deep shot. 18 seconds left on the clock. Thrown towards Boubacar. Catch is made. Tiptoe out of bound. 15-yard gain. Clock is stopped. He indeed did call his own number. It looked like a classic FPF play. Fly by the wide receiver, pull the corner to the deep, run the 10 out underneath the fly, and then complete once the defender commits to the fly route.
Yeah, exactly. You read that like a book, Alexi, there. And again, that was roughly 4 or 5 seconds off the clock. So again, they have 3 at least plays if they manage to time right, making it very manageable for them to score and get out of this 20-7 deficit.
100%. That was a nice completion. If they can continue gaining 15-yard chunks like that at a time and making it look easy, that's exactly what they need. We now have trips to the right. Boubacar and Murphy standing next to each other. Casati under the center. Catches the snap. Sparagna runs to his right. Thrown towards Sparagna. Tries to make a defender miss and wisely steps out of bounds. 3 seconds off the clock. A 5-yard gain. This is clinical. I think this is where you see the tackle football experience of these Concordia boys showing.
Yeah, 100%. With the fact that with this pro clock, again, getting out of bounds stops the clock. And again, good job for Sparagna. He actually could have ran out of bounds initially, but he reached up for an extra 2-3 yards because he knew the defender wasn't able to make the tackle before he got out of bounds. And plus, he's saving a lot of clock there and making it very manageable with them at being at like the 12-yard line or maybe 15-ish.
The 15-yard line, 3rd and 3. At this point, they probably have 3 plays left in the half of the pace they've been running. This is completed towards Mancini, who's tackled inbounds after a first down. That means time. Was that a timeout taken by LeBrontourage?
I think so, yes.
Is that perhaps a mistake, seeing as clock has stopped due to the first down?
Yes, I would say that unless they feel that they're able to play 2 plays. But again, you're that close to the end zone. Is that worth it in a sense? It just depends on what the actual clock they're putting up. If it's roughly where it says 6 seconds, maybe because you get 2 shots at the end zone rather than just 1 play.
This could have extended what was 1 play into 2. That being said, they need to now make this drive count. First down for LeBrontourage, trying to cut into a 13-point deficit. Let's see what Casati has in his bag of tricks. 5.8 seconds on the clock. Fires towards Boubacar, tiptoeing out of bounds. Passes caught, 3.1 seconds on the clock. Les Petites Carottes pointing towards the clock. Unsure why.
Yeah, I think that was enough time there. I'm surprised they didn't go into the end zone there, as you have 2 plays left. You're making it closer, I get that, but again, you have 6 seconds. You had enough time to go into the end zone twice, perhaps. But again, maybe they didn't want to risk it right away and get a bit closer, but again, you moved it around 3-4 yards. I don't know if that would have made too much of a difference there.
I don't think it would have. We're setting up now a very important play, which I believe is the last of the half. From the 3-yard line, fires towards Boubacar, intercepted, and he's running it back. Only Casati to beat, tries to dip. He cannot beat Casati. However, the play winds up as an interception. The half is over, and there's still a 13-point lead. Les Petites Carottes will have the ball after the half.
What an interception there by number 0, Cedric Maurice there, reading the in-out move by Boubacar, and again, almost returning it, but and Gianni Casati was able there to make the stop. But again, LeBrontourage unfortunately couldn't get the score there at half. Deficit is 20-6 for Les Petites Carottes.
I think perhaps the issue with this LeBrontourage offense at the moment is the fact that they're rather predictable. On 4th down, they look towards their top target on an in and out move. It's what a majority of teams would call. If I was a defense, the first thing I'd cover would be the in and out from Boubacar. Do you think there's a secondary receiver on this LeBrontourage team who could come up and thereby allow Boubacar to draw the coverage and someone else to appear open underneath?
100%. I'm not going to be biased because I know him well since we were like high school kids, but Dante Sparagna, he's been playing very well for this LeBrontourage team throughout the season. There's always been a safety blanket for their QB. So, again, having him as an option, and especially when it comes to these red zone plays, I've seen it when he played against Coldness in their victory there. He made a big interception on Jansley Alexis, making it a reasonable possession for LeBrontourage to score within the last 10 seconds of that game. So, honestly, Boubacar takes away all the attention for all of the receivers. You have Tristan Mancini also there. You have Dante Sparagna. So I think it'll be very pivotal for their quarterback and Gianni to kind of look elsewhere, especially if the Petites Carottes, like you said, are probably aiming to stop their number 1 player.
And not to say over-committing, because they're clearly committing the appropriate amount of resources at the moment. But if they continue double covering Boubacar, that inherently means someone else will be springing open. Now, for Les Petites Carottes, any changes for them to make, or have they done exactly what they need to do in this first half?
They have done exactly everything that they have needed to do, and especially the fact that they have possession now. A 20-7 lead is what they needed. Thankfully for them, they didn't get a touchdown scored by LeBrontourage to close the first half. So a 20-7 lead with possession. Again, if you have the option to go deep, for sure do that. But again, playing more conservative is something that they have the ability to do throughout this second half, especially on the first drive. But again, a score will break the game wide open for them. And again, it will force LeBrontourage to make a possible mistake that they don't want.
So what the LeBrontourage need right now is a stop, and they need it very quickly. If this game reaches the 3 possession mark, it's going to start to get out of reach. Whereas if they can start going now score for score, at least getting a stop, it's going to feel at least psychologically bigger. But it's completed over the middle. That is towards Trist. That is towards Laurent Beauchamp. Touchdown, les Petites Carottes. I can guarantee you what LeBrontourage did not need was a first play 40-yard touchdown. They turned all hooks into a 40-yard touchdown. And that's where I think Boubacar, playing slightly far off and playing at 12 yards instead of 7, is going to hurt this LeBrontourage defense.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say that. We talked about it earlier. You brought up the fact that Boubacar was playing off, and who scored it was Laurent Beauchamp, who was playing center right in front of him. So it is tough for Boubacar to make up that ground. He has been able to, but clearly not on that play that he kind of made the wrong read, which led to Beauchamp kind of fitting through the needle for the score.
It feels like they're always giving this Le Petites Carottes team 5 yards. And when you're now down at this point 19 points, perhaps more pending the outcome of this 2-point convert, always giving up 19 points is, or always giving up 5 yards is simply not the correct option. Félix Boutet is going to take off and run, trying for the 2-point convert, dancing to the end zone. He is so fast. He can dip and maintain his speed. A move I simply don't understand how it's physically possible, and yet he pulls it off seamlessly. He runs in next to the left cone for a 2-point conversion, making this a 21-point game, 3 possessions.
Félix Boutet already winning awards in the top divisions at FPF and competitive and in Division A. In Division C for him, honestly, it looks like it's nothing but a breeze. Doesn't even have to try too hard on this, making his moves look so effortlessly.
And this LeBrontourage team is, in one word, fast. And somehow Félix Boutet still looks fast against a team of athletes. Cassari needs to come up big here for LeBrontourage. Takes the ball, looking deep, tries to make Descoteaux miss, and does. He's now going to take off and run. 3 defenders are on him. Descoteaux gives him a large, very amicable hug. He's stopped after a gain of 5 yards by the power of friendship.
Yeah, I saw Boubacar making a double move at the slot on the left, and it looks like Cassadi was trying to aim it towards him, but again, the rush of Emile Descoteaux was right there, forced Cassadi to make the run there instead of throwing it deep.
It feels like Cassadi is locking into a singular read and is having a very hard time coming off that one read and progressing to second, third, or his fourth read. If his first read is open, he's going to throw a gorgeous ball, but if it's not, things get more complicated for his LeBrontourage defense. Let's see if he can get through his progressions better here on second down. He surveys the field, throws deep, wide open, caught, touchdown LeBrontourage.
What a catch there by Tristan Mancini. Like, much needed play for LeBrontourage there. Great job there. I don't know what in terms of the coverage, we'll see on the replay. Boubacar ran a post. Mancini ran like a go. Again, a cover 2 beater right there.
So it's another traditional FPF concept. It's a fly on the outside, a post from the slot receiver, a fly from the wide right. So essentially you're flooding the deep zone with 3 receivers. On that play, Cassadi did take advantage of how interested this defense has been in Boubacar by staring him down, making the defender commit his hips inside. The second his hips turned, he threw the fly. The defender didn't have a chance. The result is 6 points for LeBrontourage, now going for 2. Let's see if Cassadi can make this work with his arms or his legs. Sparagna dropping his second QB. No one covers the second QB. Sparagna has time and space. He tries to make Reyes miss, but Reyes shows us not 1, but 2 flags. Cassadi could not escape the Le Petites Carottes quarterback.
Yeah, unfortunately for Sparagna, there wasn't able to get past Reyes. Again, I know Boubacar was calling for the ball to get thrown, and again, Sparagna felt like he was able to pass Reyes, but Reyes, being a fast defender in his own right, made the tackle with both flags there, keeping this game at a 15-point lead.
He himself, he's a rushing quarterback, so he knows how to sack a rushing quarterback. He knows the moves. He knows flipping the hips, and he did a great job pulling both flags off of Sparagna on that play. Reyes is now waiting for the ball, under center, flashes his hands, receives the snap. He's looking towards his left, comes back towards his right. Casati jumps, shows the flag to the referee, not in time. That tie went to the quarterback. No sack, but also no completion. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Yeah, with Boubacar playing very deep again, I'm surprised to not see Jason Reyes calling a quick hook for Laurent Beauchamp for him to just sit there in the middle, force John Bocci and either Dante Sparagna to make a play on the center, which leaves the slot guys wide open. So we'll see Boubacar playing deep once again if that will actually work.
If you look at the cushion being given by John Bocci and by Boubacar, and there exactly we see it, a hook to Beauchamp, that 5-yard hook is consistently open. And if Boubacar wants to start baiting that, taking a step backwards and then crashing in like a madman on the hook, you could produce something. But lining up at 12 yards is going to start costing this LeBrontourage defense, especially against a savvy Petites Carottes quarterback.
Yeah, it's almost feeling it's like they're playing 4-on-5 with Boubacar standing that far back, and we have talked about a disadvantage on offense.
Very much so. Here we see a drag coming across the formation. It's thrown over the middle of the field. A flag comes out. I believe we have a legal contact on the defense.
Yeah, we're going to see on the replay here.
So the laundry came out thrown by the side judge, Leo Gervais. Waiting on the call, we see the cones moving forwards. First down, the penalty, 5 yards, automatic first for Les Carottes.
Yeah. Unfortunately for LeBrontourage, penalty moves the chains up. And again, this is with 13 minutes left in this game. A much needed stop is needed. They're down by 15, which we've talked about before being a 14-point buffer, which you need for the onside. But again, if Les Petites Carottes score, pushes that up much further and much difficult for them to overcome.
Yes, Reyes definitely knows that as he surveys the field. He's going to take off running. Casati's on his hips. He makes a first man miss, which is Casati. He makes Bocci miss, picks up 10 with his legs. Is this enough for a first down? Not quite. It was not 10, it was 9 3/4.
Great run by Reyes there. Evades the rusher and Gianni there, and then makes John Bocci miss there with moving his hips there. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get past Joshua Murphy. But again, 2nd and a step, honestly, for them. And for Les Petites Carottes, managing the clock and under 13 minutes left.
2nd one is a very interesting scenario. It's where you like to take a shot. If I'm 2nd and 1 from this position on the field, throw this in the end zone once, throw it twice. You know you can run for a first down. You know you can complete a 1-yard hook to Laurent Beauchamp for a first down. You have multiple options, which gives you the flexibility to be aggressive here on 2nd down. We see a drag coming across the formation, which he does not throw because Boubacar stepped up on it, daring him to throw out. It could have been a pick 6, and Casati comes barreling down for the sack.
That is the one thing, other than an interception, that LPC could have had done to them. And now making a 3rd and long for Jason Reyes and company where, again, if he just made an incomplete pass there, it would have been 3rd and 1. But again, making this very, very tough. I think maybe, is it 2nd down?
I believe it is now 3rd down because they got to a situation which was 2nd and 1, so they gained on 1st.
Yeah, exactly.
And then a sack on 2nd, setting up 3rd and longer. That is not what Les Petites Carottes needed. Reyes is looking towards deep. There's a wheel route to Felix Boutet, who elevates touchdown over Mancini, head topping the defender. What a touchdown.
Yeah, great concept there. Was that a post? Yeah, it was a post wheel. Exactly. Great job. It looked like John Bocci wasn't sure if he was going to take the post, but again, Mancini was a bit too slow there to take the wheel of Boutet and made the catch much more difficult probably than it was, but great elevation there for the catch. A catch that he makes routinely in any team he plays for.
It's part of the concepts of FPF. Again, both of these teams are running very effective but simple playbooks. When you have Felix Boutet, who is, in my opinion, the best player on the field, the most decorated player at least, any scenario where you can have Boutet one-on-one and say Boutet will beat someone else, that's a matchup you want to take, and that's exactly what they're able to do with the wheel route. Now going for 2 to make this a 36-point scoreline. Boutet is scrambling around. He's going to run again. It looks like he is. He dances. He dives. And the 2-point convert is good. How can this LeBrontourage defense simply take away the run from Boutet.
It's tough no matter who you send at him. And the thing is, he's getting approached by LeBrontourage defenders well short of getting the convert there. But again, Boutet is able to shift his hips and make it too effortlessly for him. And again, with around 10 minutes left, LeBrontourage down by 23 points. It's score or bust at this point.
He makes it look so easy to make 3 elite level athletes miss. It's an impressive ability. Casati needs to turn up for this LeBrontourage team. He's under center. He's throwing over the middle. It is deflected by Decoteau. He had Sparagna open, but Decoteau said it was a no-go.
Yeah, that was a great play by Decoteau. Yes, Sparagna was open there on a short hook, but again, Decoteau being the taller of the two between him and the quarterback, didn't have to do too much there, but put his hand at the right moment and caused that breakup. And he actually got the flag there in case of Gianni never threw it.
It's becoming an increasingly bigger part of being what a rusher is in FPF, is taking away passing lanes. And if your rusher can take away that middle hook, it allows you to change the way you play defense. Casati now tries to escape Decoteau. He cannot. The score is now 3-1 for Decoteau, which feels like the 23-point lead that Les Carottes have. A deflected pass, a sack. Decoteau is leaving his mark on this game.
Yes, with every sack Decoteau is getting, or even a pass deflection, demoralizes the offense of LeBrontourage. For a quarterback, is it the fact that the rusher is now getting in his head because he's there quick, and if he's not getting a sack there, he's getting a pass deflection. And for a quarterback as mobile as Gianni Casati is, it keeps backing up the chains for you and this offense.
It's placing them in an even more difficult situation when they need to score, and they need to score quick. Casati now standing in his end zone, throws towards, that is...
It was
John Bocci making the nice catch on the out route. Casati has a fantastic arm. He can zip that ball in, and his ability to hit... that was incomplete.
Yeah, Bocci had the catch there, but his first foot, it was out of bounds in my opinion. But I don't know, actually, looking at the replay, I think he might have got the left foot in, perhaps.
His
right
planted foot was in and stopped the rotation of the ball as that foot was still in bounds. I believe that was a missed call by our officials. Could have been worth a challenge, but they are not challenging it. Casati, under center. Decoteau, bowing down, throwing it deep towards Sparagna, but it's picked off by, is that Nema Lacasse, leaving his mark on this game now on both sides of the ball. The leading receiver for Les Carottes, and on top of it, a stellar defender.
Yeah, great job by Timothée Nema Lacasse for reading that ball. Sparagna was there and John Bocci as well, and just made the right read there to give Les Petites Carottes the ball back with a 23-point cushion over LeBrontourage.
And it's starting to feel like this is just about game over. Do you see a path back at this point for LeBrontourage?
They would have to get a pick at this point in the next maybe minute and a half. But again, the clock is on the friend side of Les Petites Carottes. So if they don't get a pick, I would say in the next minute and a half, even a fourth down stop is going to take enough clock off.
Boubacar shading to the left of the field, being flown right. Murphy is trailing. The blonde locks are flowing, and the pass falls incomplete. That was thrown just a step ahead of Cédric Maurice.
Yeah, a deep shot. Again, Les Petites Carottes, they have the opportunity to go deep, maybe put the nail in the coffin right now against this depleted LeBrontourage team. They are fatigued. Again, they're only 6. Not much better for Les Petites Carottes with 7. But it seems that Les Petites Carottes is playing with much more. Again, they're up by 23. But it seems like throughout most of the game, they've been playing more, I guess, hungrier for this game rather than LeBrontourage, who's been a bit tired and sluggish, especially with early drops early.
LeBrontourage made a few mistakes early, which were then compounded, forced them to make more risky plays, and led to the scoreline we now see. That's a quick hitter across the field towards Félix Boutet, good for 5 yards.
Yeah, making it very much third and manageable. Again, the legs of Jason Reyes could be in play now, or again, simple hooks to perhaps Laurent Beauchamp, or maybe he could go deep at this point too. Depends on what he sees.
At this point of the game, there's less than 6 minutes left. They can have a bit of fun with it. They can show off. They can build their huddle. They can build their highlight reel. It would take something spectacular for this lead to fall apart. Let's see what Reyes chooses to do. Is he aiming for a highlight reel play? catches the ball, throws an outside hook. It's an efficient pass. It's not a highlight reel pass, but it's a first down for Cédric Maurice.
Yeah, again, as much as, the highlight play is obviously in the realm of possibility, getting the first down at least gives them more of an opportunity if maybe they want to try a highlight play now or whatnot. But again, for LeBrontourage, have to play aggressive. Time is winding down. By the time the ball is going to be snapped, it's going to be under 5 minutes. So again, they need a pick at this point, or else, again, the Petites Carottes could just manage and wind down the clock. Even if they don't score, the clock is not on their side for LeBrontourage.
They need a pick. They need a miracle. They need a few picks and a few miracles. It's a difficult situation for this LeBrontourage team, who are starting to look a little bit defeated. Reyes under center with the ball, pumping towards Laurent Beauchamp, makes Murphy miss. The flag comes in. The reason that Murphy missed is that his hand was swatted away. Flag guarding. We're going to go back 5 from the spot of the foul.
Yeah, it looked like it was Laurent Beauchamp at the flag guarding was maybe 4 yards away from the first down, so it'll probably be looking like a 1 yard catch rather than a 6 yard.
Exactly that, a 1 yard gain, and Murphy had escaped for an even larger gain. It's an instinctive play for a lot of tackle football players who run with their arms a little bit lower, and as you're running with your arms in a very natural position, the unfortunate reality is that you can swat hands away. You need to learn kind of in the flag football style. I think Félix Boutet is a very good example of a player who does a good job of keeping his arms up and not taking flag guarding penalties. After the flag guarding, Reyes going to Boutet, who's going to show us how to dip and not flag guard. A nice play, but Mancini with the even better tackle to make sure he did not turn that quick slant into a larger gain. Not quite yet a first down. Third down coming up.
Yeah, with the clock still winding under 4 minutes now. Like you've mentioned earlier, LeBrontourage looks a bit more depleted. But again, yeah, it would take honestly a miracle, a pick, basically every single play. But with Jason Reyes playing very conservative, making his right reads there, it's making it near impossible for that to happen.
And Les Petites Carottes have come up the divisions. They have the experience. Scrambling to his right, throwing to the back of the end zones, in and out of the hands of Laurent Beauchamp. I believe we now have fourth down coming up, but even a stop here on fourth could be too little, too late.
Yes, with this, Les Petites Carottes, as you mentioned, they've been playing together for quite some time. I had the opportunity when they had their B team, Les Petites Carottes Junior, last spring, played them in the semifinals. Again, Jason Reyes wasn't at quarterback for him having a too high of a rating, but playing against him as receiver, quick as he is always, and he could lead the team in terms of his directives, leading Les Petites Carottes, their original team right now, potentially to a victory.
We see Boubacar standing at 12 yards. It's a quick out from the snapper. Reyes takes off running, makes a first man miss, gets around Cassadi, tackled but tackled only after the first down is gained. Time keeps on ticking. Les Petites Carottes at this point don't even mind if they score. They have won the game simply by the fact that they have milked enough time off the clock. Les Petites Carottes are on their way to a Division C championship. Is this a team going into the winter season, going into next spring? Is this a team that could compete at the Division 2 level, you think?
I'll give you that answer right after this, but yeah, I'll give you the answer right after.
Perfect. Answer coming up very soon. Reyes pump fakes, takes his time, comes back to Fafal, tries to make a defender miss, tackled by Sparagna. Another gain. The clock keeps running. What do you think is the ceiling for this LPC team?
So if they do decide to go Division 2 again, much higher cap. The thing with Félix Boutet on this team is the reason why he's able to fit is because not all of their players are in the lineup. There has been games where Félix Boutet has been on the roster, but he hasn't played. He's only played 4 actual games of actual stats-wise compared to his 7 games played to get playoff eligibility. But again, having him be able to play full-time for this team, as well as adding perhaps a receiver or two and DB, could definitely be helping them to making that jump to Division 2. If they keep their full team, it's a different story, but I think they have the experience and kind of chemistry to eventually build up to that.
I think their chemistry, seeing this team play for one of the first times, it's not a team I have very much experience with, their chemistry is impressive, and the poise of Reyes and his ability to get past his third read, and very often you'll see him work from one side of the field over to the other and get to a fourth read. That's impressive for a quarterback, and despite him not having the biggest arm, and there you have it, game has been called. Les Petites Carottes are your Division C champions.
A great all-around performance on both sides of the ball for this Les Petites Carottes, team in Division C, winning a Division C championship after last year in Division C losing in the semifinals to Backfield Penetration. So great job avenging that semifinal loss from last spring in Division C.
And I remember Backfield Penetration. I actually played against Backfield in the finals. That was a very Les Petites Carottes team as well. I felt like they were fast, they were talented, they were athletic, they played with spirit. But to see this Les Petites Carottes team, after having grown through the divisions at FPF, consistently been one of the better teams, but that final has eluded them. It's a feel-good moment to see this group finally come home with a championship.
Exactly. I think the last time Les Petites Carottes won a championship, they won with their B team last spring in Division E, but I think with their main core, I think they won a Division D title the year before. So winning Division D, winning Division E with some of their players, and now winning Division C, again, I think, especially since last year they were in C, I think it's the opportunity for at least next spring. They shouldn't really be in C at this point, and then when it comes to winter, maybe making the jump to Division 2. Is that too far? We don't know. We're going to see with what they decide to at that point.
And I think a Division C title is something that very much puts you on the map. It's your statement to say we are on the cusp, and this is a young team gaining in experience. It's very much them putting their mark down and showing that we have what it takes to take that next step. If you're looking and being now critical at this Les Petites Carottes team, for them to excel in perhaps Tier 2 in the Fall Cup, Division 2 in the winter, what do they need to improve upon?
I think just making sure in terms of efficiency, they did adding some pieces. Dikutu is great at rusher, giving him more experience. I think in that sense, he has the ability to being a really good rusher in higher divisions, and he's been very much improving. Honestly, just having their players individually playing more, maybe they should just go in Division 2 with their roster in itself. It maybe not go as well as they would think, but again, getting the experience of playing in a higher division instead of, it seems like they've been pretty coasting all divisions they've been playing at so far.
There's always a learning curve, and I think that's what's hard with Division 2 is if this team goes Division 2, it's going to take them a few seasons to get up to the level, but I think they have the quality and the caliber. We're going now down to field level in a few seconds. The only thing left we still have to decide here, this being our last final in Brossard, is who will be our final MVP. We're just a few moments away from figuring that out as we're now heading down to field level with the one, the only Mr. Mo Khan.
Salut, donc on est au terrain à Brossard avec l'équipe Division C pour les Petites Carottes, les champions pour la Ligue. On est avec Jason.
Yes, salut.
Oui. Donc on va remettre le trophée au capitaine.
Voilà.
Je vous donne aussi la bannière pour la division. Comment tu te sens de la saison? Comment a été la finale? Dis-moi tes impressions.
Ça a bien été. Ça faisait une couple de fois qu'on l'échappait en finale, mais là, on a fait notre victoire.
Parfait. Oui, puis pour le MVP, ça va aussi à Jason, à toi. Fait que je te donne ça. La chimie d'équipe, comment que c'est? Comment vous avez vraiment genre pull through dans la finale? Explique-moi comment tu te sens. Là.
Notre chimie est incroyable. Ça fait longtemps qu'on se connaît. On est toute une gang de gars qui se connaissent depuis très jeunes. Puis là, on a eu beaucoup de blessés. On a réussi à squeezer notre équipe, puis on est arrivé à gagner.
Parfait. Ben félicitations.
Merci.
Bonne saison à toutes, puis bon championnat.
And there you have it. Jason Reyes is your finals MVP. And in case you didn't realize, that was not Mo Khan, that was rather Laurie Ouellette giving out the award. Les Petites Carottes are your Division C champions, and that does it for our night here from Brossard, Quebec. Signing off for the last time until the Fall Championships. This has been Alexis Dubois standing alongside
Keon Cyrus.
And Les Petites Carottes are your Division C champions. Thank you very much for your attention, and we will see you soon. Have a nice night.